everyone, Michelle Fix-It here today. Did you guys know that there are DIY dentures? I didn't know until I found a couple of people that were having denture issues. And dentures are actually pretty expensive. Dental care in general is actually pretty expensive. So I like to deep dive and I like to fix things because I'm Michelle Fix-It. That's what I do. So through my research, I was able to find a dog that barks a lot named Xena. But I was also able to find Dentures, the DIY dentures. So if you go to Dentures, the DIY dentures, and no, this is not a sponsored video, this is just a let's try their product. And actually this is going to be the second try, but it's been a long time ago since I did this. So we're going to do a video on how to DIY your own dentures because there are very few things in life that you can't DIY. Alright, so you'll get this little pamphlet, you will get mixing compounds, you will have plaster powder, you will have different sized trays. One's a big one, one's a small one. They're just naturally discolored, they don't actually look this way in real life, they are the same color in real life. And then there's a little measuring cup, and so, ooh, we don't have our teeth. That's kind of a critical thing. We're missing a piece. So I'll be back to you guys in just a moment because I just realized they were kind of missing the teeth part, which is kind of important. So stand by and I'll be back. Crisis averted. I was able to find the teeth because like I said, I did this a long time ago. So if you open this, you'll have teeth. Your tops and your bottoms. These are not for me. So before anybody comes at me about my teeth are mine. They do not come out. They stay inside of my, I don't have like little snappies or anything. I am doing this for a friend. And eventually I may do this for other people because again, denture care is very expensive. Or dentures are expensive and dental care is also expensive. So you have these teeth and then nice little denture case that comes with it. I got the set that had two, but I only got one denture case, so that wasn't nice. I should have got two. And then you have these guys, which are the pink gum material. So one of the reasons I really got this kit is because through my extensive research, I was able to find out that a lot of dentures are made with a very hard plastic material, like the economy ones or the like lower grade ones or whatever. They're all very hard plastic, which can actually like create blisters and stuff. So that material over there is like a poly something blend, and so it's actually flexible. So if you're getting dentures that are flexible dentures increase the price by like 10 times or 5 times. I have a lot of dogs that are attacking my patients of sorts. But to get the flexible, more comfortable dentures, it's 5 to 10 times the cost. So we're making this set as temporaries, or if the person really likes them, then they can be the permanent ones. So let's continue on with all of this. Oh, and there were also gloves, but I don't know where the gloves are, and we will have gloves. And I will wash my hands again, so you leave me alone. All right, so back to the book, pamphlet, whatever. Dentures, the DIY denture, and they do label it a novelty denture crafting kit because any type of, medical equipment, you have to have a medical doctor help you with, and so this is a way to kind of like go against that system of expensiveness. So there's an important page, which I'm not going to go over, a getting started page, which I'm not going to go over, and then there are videos, YouTube videos more specifically, so I guess you can add this to the bunch. And then step 1, nice little pictures. Step 1 is vigorously mix the blue and white putty for no more than 30 seconds. The putty should be well mixed with no streaks. And then it says to roll it into a sausage shape and place around the tray for the channel. And my guinea pig of sorts, patient, I guess I should call her patient, has chosen this one to work well for her. And then quickly smooth the putty until even across the tray. If using the upper tray, cover the middle of the middle arch of the tray. This step does not have to look perfect. You're going to place it in your mouth, center over the teeth and gums, and evenly press the tray into the teeth and gums. Be sure to evenly apply pressure, hold for 3 minutes, remove from sink, and rinse away saliva in sync. So you have two sizes of these, and you're going to stick it in your mouth and make sure that your lip goes over it. So you have it in there, and you'll kind of look like a monkey because it'll be like that. And so whichever one is more comfortable of the two, that's the one that you're going to select. And we're going to start mixing up our putty with our dogs, my two Dobermans, fighting aggressively in the background. So open up your bag, open up these two putties, drop one. And I don't have a regular tripod, so you guys are on the table. So I'm going to do my best with this. We're going to mix this up for 30 seconds. So we open this up here. And I feel like there were glovies that I had last time. I'm not going to use glovies, so I'm probably going to end up with glue hands. But you should wear gloves. And there were tips and tricks and stuff like that. Okay, this one doesn't have a tearaway thing. There were tips and tricks on some of the research that I was finding in like different like forums and Reddit stuff. So one of the tips and tricks that I did see was after you get to this phase and you have the casted mold, go ahead and grab like petroleum jelly or cooking oil, olive oil, some type of lubricant that is mouth safe. And you're going to put it on this thing once it's like casted so that you don't have the stickiness and it's not stuck on the tray. So you're going to work on getting all this blue stuff out of here, which in the videos they make it seem like it just totally comes out. It does not just totally come out. You kind of got to dig it a little bit. You can hear my puppies in the background. I wonder if they have dentures for dogs. You can get the white one. The white one does come out a little bit easier. Bloop. All right, and we are going to do this, mix this for 30 seconds. So 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, 5 Mississippi, 6 Mississippi, 7 Mississippi, 8 Mississippi, 9 Mississippi, 10 Mississippi, 11 Mississippi, 12 Mississippi, 13 Mississippi, 14 Mississippi, 15 Mississippi, 16 Mississippi, 17 Mississippi, 18 Mississippi, 19 Mississippi, 20 Mississippi, 21 Mississippi, 22 Mississippi, 23 Mississippi, 24 Mississippi, 25 Mississippi, 26 Mississippi, 27 Mississippi, 28 Mississippi, 29 Mississippi, 30 Mississippi. Fun fact, I'm originally from Mississippi. So I thought that everyone used their state as a counting thing until I like moved to other places, and then I realized that like Arizona people say 1 Mississippi just because it's a long word. All right, so 30 Mississippis. Roll it into a sausage. Roll, 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 roll your sausage. That patient's not entertained. She's more entertained with the dogs. So we have a happy face. We have this. And we are going to put this in here, like so. A little sausage. What? I am being distracted in the midst of my video because she is showing me doggy stuff. Okay, I don't know. I will talk to you about whatever the puppy stuff is in a little bit. So you want it to only go up to here. You want it to go across here. Okay, I feel like it's curing way faster than it should be. No, that's the only one we have. Okay, and then you're gonna hurry up and stick it in your mouth and bite down and hold it for 30 seconds. It's also warm in the house, so it might be that like my 30 Mississippis, I don't know. That's the only stuff I have. And this kid has got a little bit of time to it. So what I was trying to say before the putty rudely interrupted me is you're gonna flip all the putty over. So you're gonna put it as a sausage here, and then you're gonna roll it over and roll it over. And that way it covers the whole thing if you're doing the top. If you're doing the bottom, then you'll do it that way on the bottom, but it doesn't matter as much for this center piece. So you're going to keep that in your mouth for 3 minutes. So I am going to pause, you guys. I am not going to Mississippi count you for 30 seconds, and then I'll be back. Okay? Okay. Hi, everyone. So Fun fact, maybe you should just set a timer instead of counting to Mississippi, because it hardens pretty quickly. So you want it to be kind of squishy, and then you want to immediately stick it in your mouth and then bite down, so that you get a nice little imprint of your mouth. So after you get done with that, then you're going to take it out of its little container thing carefully. And if it has like little tails that get stuck, you can shave them down with a knife. But I am going to manhandle it a little bit. And also, if you normally have acrylic nails, this would be an opportunity to not have acrylic nails. I do not have nails, so that's why I'm doing this right now, because you are going to be molding your gums and everything else based off of this model, based off of the plaster that's in the model. So you're going to set this to the side, and then you are going to get the little measuring cup, and you're going to put 35 units of water. So at the very tippy top is 30. So we are going to pour, and you're going to have a bowl, and you're going to have dogs knock you. So I'm going to pour water all over the table and in there. So 30. And 5. And you're going to pour the water in there. You're going to use a fork for stirring. You're going to have your plaster. Open this up. And please note that the first kit that we did receive, and this is still technically our first kit, the plaster exploded. So if the plaster explodes, you can nicely email the company and they will mail you more plaster. Or if you have issues with the little cubby things, you can let them know on that, and they will also email you more stuff. And you can fight with the bag and open it up, and you're going to dump it into the bowl. And you are going to mix, mix, mix. And again, you guys are not on a good tripod, so you just have to trust me that I'm mixing this up. And you're trying to make it into like a batter of sorts. And you don't want it to be all bubbly, so for me, I'm trying to mix it so that it doesn't have any clumps and dry stuff. And then I'm going to smush it, kind of like if I was doing like mortar or drywall compound or something like that. And you're going to mix it for 2 minutes. And then once it's thoroughly mixed, you're just kind of scooching it around to continue the mixing, but also to make sure you don't have any bubbles. You do not want bubbles in this instance. I know we like bubbles, but bubbles are not what you want. And then you're going to get this guy, and you're going to pour this plaster into this mold, which is going to be messy. So this is the time period that, do you give me another plate? Just a different plate. You're going to put a plate down. That's just the Michelle Fix-It helpful advice. So you put the plate down, and then you'll put this on top, and then you're going to spoon some of this, well, not spoon it, but put some of this into there. Thank you, handy assistant / patient. Great. No, this is not dog food. This is not dog food. Stay away from it. I have Doberman trying to eat plaster. Just so you know, Xena likes to eat drywall compound for some reason. I don't know. Breezy evidently likes to eat denture compound. So, as you can see here, it turns into a big mess. You use your finger and clean it up as best as you can as it topples over. Because the less of this that you have on the sides, the better. This is still a little soupy, so you want it a little bit drier than this, but you'd rather have it be a little dry or a little wet than a little dry, because you don't want a bunch of air bubbles and stuff like that. So you're going to very carefully put it down on your plate so that it can dry that way. And you do want it to be like super full. Yep, give me 1 second, I'm still playing. And what I'm doing that you guys can't see in camera is I am adding more of this to the top as it firms up. so that it's going to be a nice little mound. Because this is what you will be basing your dentures off of. All right. So that's what it ends up looking like. And again, cleaning the perimeter of it again, because as it gushes out the sides, I want to make sure that's all cleaned up. And you are going to let it rest for 45 minutes to an hour until it's firm. And then once it is firm, you're going to carefully try to pry it out of there. If it gives you any type of issues, then you're going to put it in the freezer and then try to pry it out. So I will see you guys in 45 minutes to an hour. Also, because it has not been 45 minutes yet, this is the point where you're going to want to get a pot and some water, and you're going to want to boil some water. And once it comes to a boil, you're going to turn your stovetop off so that it's still super hot. And then once you start playing and trying to pry this out, which I'll try to remind you guys about, then you're going to turn the water back on because you want it to come to a boil. Hi everyone, welcome back. So I'm assuming that this is completely cured. So what you're going to do is, I have a knife and I shave down the sides a little bit, like so. Dad, you're going to be in a YouTube video.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you are, because I'm making a video. And then you're going to gently like pry the blue, because it's flexible, away from the plaster. Like so. It's going to kind of be stuck in there. There we go. And then that's going to be your mold. So now you have a mold of the ridge line for the gums. So once you have that squared up, you're going to get a nail file or it will have a file that comes with it, and you're going to lightly file around the edges of it, just so your little strips which you have right here don't get stuck on it too much. And then you're also going to want to use petroleum jelly, vegetable oil, or something like this, or something like that, to make sure that it's properly lubricated so that the gummy material will come off. And I'll be back in a moment. Welcome back again. So, nail file, or the file that's included, you're going to buff around the edges. You're not trying to overly file it, you're just trying to make sure it doesn't have any rough spots for everything to adhere to. Alright, so we have that. Your next step, like I told you in the video, should be that you have a pot that has boiling water or warm water. Well, not warm, but boiling water or hot water that's already behind you. So I did do that. I'm going to check the temperature of the water. And then you're going to put a couple of these strips inside the water. And once they're ready, they will become clear. So this is what they look like before things happen. And then they will become clear. So I will pause you guys and get to that section. But essentially, once they are warmed up, heated up, and they are transparent, you're going to put them around the perimeter and then the inside, and you're going to bend them in and make a nice little divot. And as a reminder, this is for the top, so you are going to end up doing this little inside cup right here too. So going to heat these guys up, and then we will continue to play with this kit. Okay, so my water is almost heated up all the way. So this is the color difference that I was talking about. So this is whenever it's heated up, becomes very pliable. And then this is what it looks like before it's at the right temperature. So you want it to be transparent and pliable like that. And I'm going to get some olive oil, and I'm going to put olive oil all over this, and I will show you guys that. Alright, so I have my olive oil in a little sprayer, so I'm going to spritz it. Okay, well, it's clearly not in the right spot, but normally it spritzes. And you're going to stick it on here like so, and just saturate everything down, so that way your material does not get stuck, because you do not want your material to get stuck. Boom, bada bang. There we go. All right, And I'm going to pause you guys. And this next part I'm going to be really fast with, okay? So I'm going to put these guys in the water, and once they become clear and transparent, like that little piece, I'm going to start just putting them on here and meshing them in. All right, so you guys will just have to keep up with that. All right, so what I did is a little bit different than what they recommend doing. I did not just throw these into the pot. I put them in a spoon, and then I let them kind of melt so I wouldn't have to try to scoop them up. It is recommended to try to use a plastic utensil, I'm assuming, because on the metal utensil it gets a little sticky, but this is what it looks like. And we're just going to start spreading this along. If they were in strips, it would look a little bit different. And this is just giving your base foundation. You're just kind of rubbing it in there, like so. You want to make it all smooth. You're just trying to match everything up. And on this stage, you're looking for just trying to make it all cover. While it's still super transparent, you can kind of steal from some areas and then add to other areas. And you want the roof to be a little bit thin. So I'm kind of digging it out a little bit because you are going to be starting your setup for your teeth. So if you can tell, I'm like smushing on the sides, smushing on the sides. And this is something where you would play with it a fair amount. So I'm pretty satisfied with this as of right now, minus the fact that I'm missing a little right here. So I'm going to stick that right there. And that's the beauty of this product, is while it's still really hot, or warm rather, you can kind of go for the right texture around the whole entire thing. Because the thicker it looks, the thicker it is. So we have it right here. I'm going to use the last little bit that I have on my spoon, dig that out. I'm going to start thickening it up on the front right here for the part that will support the teeth. And again, you're trying to make this natural, so you're just rubbing it, making a little bit of a ridge, and then I'm going to get one more. I'm going to have a good base for everything that's going to go on the roof of the mouth and the gums, since all of that is pretty good. Rub it out, make sure it looks great. And then I'm going to start looking at my teeth. I'm going to pull this band off here. Pull this band off here. And you're going to look and see, these are the top ones. So you're going to want to make sure that you've got them kind of round, like this. So if the spacing's not how you want it, you're going to just kind of push this one in, push that one out, so that everything lines up and looks the way that it should. Because during shipping, they can kind of get a little kerfunkled up. So, in anticipation of laying down these teeth, I'm going to place them into that extra gummy line I put right there. You can see. And if you look, I don't know what this little thing is called right here in the center of your mouth, but that's going to be your line spot to make sure that your teeth are even. So you're going to lightly push it in a smidge so that you can see where these teeth are going to go. And again, it's not going to hold it just yet, because you're just roughly putting that in. And now that I've got the basic idea of how I want them to go in and looking natural, so I'm kind of just pushing along. And this is why you can, because you're taking your time since you don't have all that warm gum there. You're just making them kind of set in just a little bit. Now that I'm satisfied with where they are, I know that if they move around too much, they're going to come out. I'm going to say, okay, that looks good, right? Looks like dentures. So I'm going to nicely put it down on the table, and I'm going to heat up one piece of this material at a time and tuck it in. And you want to have a natural gum line around the rim, so when you smile, everything looks great. And then on the back side of it is where you're going to have more of a buildup to really anchor everything in. So we have our piece, we have our spoon. I'm going to stick it in the pot. Because I don't like having to fish for these things. And since this water is still pretty hot, I just swirl the spoon around. So I don't have to, do the reverse, which is just letting it land in the pot and hoping to catch it. And I'm looking for the whole thing becoming transparent. And it doesn't really take that long. Like if your water is close to boiling, that's how long it takes. Because now it's transparent and super hot. And this is why not having nails is critical, because I have to pinch and pull and do all this stuff. Because if I had my nails, I would be making indentations, getting this stuff stuck under my nails. So right now I'm kind of trying to make it into like a little bit of a roll. So I have half of it right here. And this is where it's going to get fun. So I'm going to pause you guys and get you set up so you can see what I'm doing. It's not going to flip. The one time my phone decides to be stupid and not do flippy dippies. Okay, so my phone does not want to flip, so I have no idea what you guys are going to be able to see, but I'm trying to, you guys are an afterthought. I'm trying to share information here. So you guys can see a little bit, but the primary here is making the teeth. So I'm doing a buildup on the back, pushing down where I need to. And again, this is something that you would want to play with. So I'm roughing it in, and then once I've got teeth secured, then my patient will tell me like, okay, I like this, I don't like that, and we'll work with it. This is just general form. So again, putting a heavy emphasis on the back portion, so there's a good buildup to hold everything. All right, and that looks pretty good. Everything is still lined up. And that's where we start getting little teeny tiny pieces of gumminess. And this is the part that, this is why I start on the back, because you really want to make sure that when you're doing the front that everything looks good, because you don't want the person to have a big gummy smile. And I'm smoothing it out, and the olive oil really helps with that whole smoothing it out process, and I'm just kind of using my nail. In the videos they recommend using the nail file. If you have short nails, even if you have long nails, this works out pretty well. Alright, so you see the difference here? And because it's transparent, it looks funny right now, but it'll end up looking better. And I'm going to do more here. I'm going to give more gumminess here, because this is where she's going to be eating, chomping, all that stuff. And so that has to be taken into consideration when you're doing all this. You really want everything back here to be sturdy. These are more for, you know, aesthetics and chomping and stuff. So you guys will sit here, I'll let that spin. I'm going to do another strip, and then pretty soon we'll get our first fitting. And so I'm just swirling a piece of it in the water. And I'm not moving the camera because my camera is not doing flippies right now. And so I'm waiting for it to become transparent, and then I thin it out and put the rest of the gum line on there. And then once it gets to a satisfaction point, then we're going to pop it in the freezer. So it will come off of this, and then she'll get her fitting. And if you want to use gloves, use gloves. It's recommended to use gloves, I think, from just a hygiene standpoint, but you can always clean these afterwards. When I did use the gloves, this stuff stuck to my gloved hands a lot more, and I just couldn't have as much flexibility as I do right now, and I personally didn't like that. You can always take as much time or as little time as you want to with this stuff. I prefer to take more time though, and you guys just get an extra video. So I'm pretty satisfied with this side. And then almost satisfied up here. I really have to see right here with once they're in if I want that much of the tooth showing, if I want a little bit less, because that's an aesthetic choice. So putting the pink piece back in the water again for a swirl. So I can get that other side done. So again, as of right now, I'm happier with this side, but I think there needs to be a little bit more gumminess on this side, a little bit more on this side. And then back here where it's like concaved in, it's still pliable, but you're going to want to pay attention to make sure that you smush some in there. So I heat this one up. For the price and the individualization that you can have, this can't be beat though. All right, and I am going to leave these the way that they are, where I have one that's a little bit more gummy and one that's a little less gummy. I'm going to pop these in the fridge or the freezer. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I want to see once it's on her, how much of that looks the way that I want it to. So if it turns out that like this looks better than that, then I can trim this up and it'll give me a good aesthetic choice. But that's where we're at. So I will pause you guys, pop these in the freezer for a couple minutes, and then we'll see where we're at. Oops. So this is what they end up looking like, and you're going to very carefully get them out of the tray, and the top ones are going to be super hard to get out because you have this whole suction cup right here. And so again, I haven't done this a ton, I did this one other time. So what you're basically going to do is you're going to use a knife and just kind of start a corner and just pry and pry and pry and pry and pry a little bit. And they are going to look a little bit messy when they're first done because this is your rough draft essentially of your teeth. So the biggest thing is once you get them out, you're going to put them in and then you're going to find any tension points. So like already starting out, I think the backs are going to be uncomfortable, so I'm going to like file those back a little bit. But as she puts them in and she says, okay, here hurts, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to heat up that area, like dip them in the water really fast, and then push that gum area down, and that further anchors the teeth, and then it creates like a nice little smooth area right there. And then up here, you're also going to have that same issue because, you know, you have certain areas of your mouth that are just tension points essentially. But you're just kind of digging at it, and we have that oil in there, and then at some point it'll pop out. And this is a very tedious process because you don't want to break them. Then you're also like, I want them out. All right, so I am breaking the mold a little bit right here. And it's prying. And again, be very careful because this knife is sharp. And so you see we have this side mobile right here. So we're just going to work that up a little bit, work that up a little bit. We're going to go back to the middle, create another little air pocket over here on this side. Oh, I heard it. You heard it click? You're just working your way in a little bit more. At some point, this thing will pop out. And if you have additional molds or plaster, you can always just make new ones, just break it out, but you're trying to just pop it as carefully as you can without damaging them. I think I might have just did it. Or I broke the mold, I'm not sure. Oh, it's coming. So see. Just, oh, ha! See? There you go. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to clean up this area because this all clearly looks a little kerfunkled up because it's rough, literally. And that's your starting point. And so you're going to heat, and you also have like the grittiness from the mold on there, even though we put the olive oil and stuff. So I'm going to rinse these off. I'm going to use hot water, and I'm going to just kind of bend these edges in a little bit. And if she tells me like, hey, I don't feel it all the way up here, then I'm going to kind of push it out, and it's just playing with it until it's comfortable. So you guys like and subscribe, have a fantastic day, and good luck with your DIY dentures. I'll see you next time. Bye.